We're back. This time we're going to be taking a look at Cats, a sad but necessary cycle of violent predatory behavior from DPH Games. This one was given to me by the developer to do a honest review of here. I did actually purchase it back when it was originally called Flip the Bird. Never got around to making a review of that one, but it's the exact same game. This one's no longer in print. They've changed it to Cats now. Much nicer packaging, changed a card or two in there to make it a little bit more clear. This is what we're going to be looking at today. And it's a quick, easy to pick up card game for 3 to 5 players. Really light and fun, and we'll get in and take a look. First thing you have here is your little rules flyout. Nice thick paper too, not just printed on normal paper, which is kind of cool. But this one has all your rules, pretty much explains it. Very nice images of everything on there. The back has a whole optional rules section, so you can add a little bit more difficulty to your games, which is kind of cool. Not too much problem with those. They explain everything pretty good. Really cool thing for this game is they include a couple promo cards, and these are for some of the other games made by the company. This one is for Cash Me If You Can, and this one is for Psychological Warfare. I'm going to be doing videos for those games eventually here, but really cool to have little promo cards in there for other games. As for the game itself, it's pretty straightforward. You have a single deck here. It kind of splits up. You have your location, which are the various places that the birds are going to appear. You have your bird deck here, which are the various birds that are going to show up throughout the game, and they're all play on words for actors and things, which are kind of cool. And these are going to get distributed around the various locations. Then you have the 5 different cats that people can play as, and they're double-sided cards. On one side they have a special ability. Little focus there. They have a special ability that's a more advanced role, kind of adds a little bit more to the game. But for learning and whatnot, you can use just the basic side. Then you have your targeting cards. These are going to what you're going to use to designate which bird you're going after or which other cat you're going after, and they have various locations on them. You're going to play these in combination with your action cards. And the action cards are the different various things that you can do. The taunt ones are one of the additional rules that basically can, if you taunt an enemy cat or another player, you can ignore what they've chosen to do for that turn. You don't have to use those. Like I said, it's an advanced rule, but you have different things you can do as far as stalking, catching, stealing birds from other players, and eating them. There's also playing with them. And you have 5 different cats. Whoops. Bump the camera in there. You have Carl, you have Katrina, you have Otis. I love that picture of Otis, by the way, wrapped up in the toilet paper. Elvis. It's awesome artwork on these too. And then Simone. There's actually credits on here for the artwork too. And then you have your order of resolution here to just be a reminder so you don't have to look at things. And again, it actually has a asterisk on there that the taunt only is if you're using the advanced rules. But the gameplay is pretty straightforward. Each turn you're going to do 2 actions. You pick a targeting card of what you're going after. You pick an action card of what you're going to do in a case you want to capture a bird. And then all of our birds here have a icon down in the corner. This indicates that you can just catch this one. If you do catch him and eat him, he's worth 1 point. If you catch him and then play with them, you flip them over and they're worth the amount of points listed there. But while you have them caught, other players can snatch them from you, things like that. If 2 players go after the same bird at the same time, they fly away, they're replaced with a new bird from the deck. Some birds, like this one here, require to be stalked before they can be captured. Has to be a stalk from the same cat that captures them. You can't use a stalk that somebody else did. And you put the card next to there to show that you're stalking that bird. Once you've completed the stalk, then you can capture them. Some here, like Cluck Norris, I love the names on them, require 2. And again, he's worth 3 points if you just catch him and eat him, or if you play with him, you can get that 6. But you run the risk of, once you make him worth 6 points, now people are trying to deny you that, and they're most definitely going to try to steal him from you. So you got to watch out for things like that. Only plan around to do that kind of stuff when you know the other people have something else to do. And I only put the 3 there. I kind of skipped over that. In a 3-player game, you're only going to use these 3. If you have 5 or more players, which, well, 5 players, you're going to use the last location back in the back and actually have more targets. I really like the simple, easy to pick up nature of the game. It was extremely easy to teach people. Only had a couple questions that I ended up contacting about. Mostly just clarifications on the way things were written in the rulebook. Nothing major though. It was really easy to pick up just from reading the rules, which is something I look for in games. Easy to learn, fun to play. It's really quick. It only takes maybe 20 minutes or so to play a game. And the game ends when you've gone through the entire deck of birds. As soon as the last bird flies away or is eaten, that's the end of the game. And I just really like the concept of it. I love cats, so that's a big part of it too. But it's a really fun game. It's just a quick filler. You throw this out, everybody can get into it really quick. I love the fact that it's up to 5 players, which is a big draw. A lot of games are limited to 4, which is kind of weird. But the only thing is that it's 3 to 5. I really wish the 2-player variant worked better. We tried it with 2 players, and the whole take that mechanic where you can steal things from other players, or you kind of have to predict what the other players are doing so that you both don't do the same thing and make the bird fly away or things like that. It becomes too predictable with only 2 players, so I realize why they limited it to 3. But I'd love to see some kind of variant. Like I said, when you're playing with less than 5, you don't use the last location here. We tried it with only 2 locations, didn't work too well, so I'm not sure what they could do to make it a 2-player game, but in the end, if you have 3 to 5 players, it works out great. We took this down to the local stores a couple times, and once we had a couple people playing it, everybody else swung by and said, hey, that kind of looks like fun, and we had a couple people cycling in and trying it out with us. So if I had to pick one thing that I didn't like or had to complain about the game, is that the final turn gets a little bit hectic, I guess is the best way to put it, where there's only 1 or 2 birds left. It's usually already been caught by a cat, so everybody's targeting that player, trying to steal it back, and the objective is to either catch and eat that bird or make it fly away to end the game. That one kind of gets a little weird, but it doesn't take too long. It just changes the way the game plays, kind of changes in the last couple turns. Also, there's a chance where one player gets to start building up a runaway lead, and unless everybody starts ganging up on that player and things, it can be very hard to overcome that. Other than that, though, it's still a great game. We have a blast playing it. My kids loved it. In fact, the very first time we played it down at the local shop, we bought ourselves a copy so we could play it again. Overall, it's really fun. It's really fast to learn. Plays quick. It's a great filler game while you're waiting for people or in between other games. Not something I could see playing all night long, but definitely that's not really what it's marketed for. It's made to be that fun, fast little filler game, and it serves that role great. I definitely recommend it to anyone, especially if you have kids. My kids aren't even that young, too. When I tell people I have kids, my daughter's 18, my son is 15, so it's not like they're young kids, but I'm sure young kids could appreciate it too. The artwork's nice and colorful. Really fun to look at, especially if you're a fan of cats. And overall, it's a great game, and we enjoy it. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up here for cats. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.